Hi, Dave Jones here again. We're looking at the next instalment in this series on music theory as pertaining to the guitar. As usual, the sheet's up on the website that I'm working from for this one. You can just print it off or have a look at it on your computer. We're looking at pentatonic scales in this lesson. Now, a pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. The scales we looked at so far, the major scale and the natural minor scale, are in essence, although they've got 8 degrees to them, so the major scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we mentioned the degrees, and the natural minor scale has got 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and 8. Essentially, there's 7-note scales because, say, a C major scale, it's got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then it's got another C in it. But the actual different notes in there, there's only 7 different notes in there, and the same with the natural minor scale, it's only got 7 different notes in. The pentatonic scale is made from the parent scale. So a C pentatonic major scale comes from the C major scale, and 2 notes are omitted from that scale. And the A pentatonic minor scale comes from the parent natural minor scale of A, again with 2 notes omitted to make a 5-note scale. Now these scales are very useful for guitarists because they're very, very useful in improvisation. Because there aren't any notes. The reason these 2 notes are omitted to make the scale is because although technically speaking all the notes in the C major scale fit over the key of C major, there are certain notes that will clash when improvising against certain chords in the key. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't use them, but it just means that the pentatonic scales are what most guitarists call sort of bulletproof, providing you stay within that pentatonic scale and what you're improvising over remains in key. You can't hit any really, really bad notes that clash, where you can with the major scale and the natural minor scale. They can be very useful as well because you can get some tension going, which is really nice in improvisation. But for the minute, we're just looking at the pentatonic scale. So, starting with the major pentatonic, and I'm still just looking at the keys that we've looked at so far in the major, the C, G, D, and F on these sheets. The degrees that are omitted are the 4th degree and the 7th degree. So in the C major scale, it went C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the pentatonic scale goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. So the 4th and the 7th are omitted, and the reason this is because they can clash against certain chords in the key. If I play a C major chord, that note doesn't sound particularly nice. That's a B note. That's the 7th degree. It can sound nice. These notes can sound nice if you really listen to what you're playing and move and use them as to add a little bit of tension. But if you leave the notes out completely, you get the pentatonic scale, and that is like a bulletproof scale, if you like. So in C major, we've got C, D, E, G, A, and then C again. The biggest scale used in country music is the major pentatonic. If we apply that to the G major scale and leave out the 4th and the 7th, we'll end up with the notes G, A, B, D, E, G. And if we applied that to the D major scale and left out the notes, we'd end up with the notes D, E, F sharp, A, B, D. And equally to the F, we'd end up with the notes F, G, A, C, and then D, F. So these scales are really, really useful when improvising, and that's the main reason for them. And equally in the minor, obviously we went on about the major and having its relative minor, the natural minor. The same thing happens with the pentatonic scales. If we left out the notes from the A natural minor scale, that's the A natural minor scale, what we do is we omit the 2nd degree, so no B note there, so, and we omit the 6th, or the flattened 6th really. So we've left out in the pentatonic minor scale from the parent natural minor scale. We leave out the second degree and the sixth degree. So the A minor has A, C, D, E, G, A, and the E minor has E, G, A, B, D, E. So we're leaving out the second and sixth degree. But the thing to notice is the fourth and seventh degree of the major scale is left out to become the pentatonic major, and in the relative minor, the second and sixth degree are omitted to become the pentatonic minor. But if you, as we spoke about the relative minors and the major, so the C major containing the same, if you're following these lessons along, the C major contains the same notes as its relative A natural minor. You'll find that if you look at the sheet, the pentatonic scales contain the same notes. So the second and sixth degree of the natural minor are the same notes of the fourth and seventh of their relative major scale. So the C major, the pentatonic major scale, as I said, has got C, D, E, G, A, C. So you're missing out the B and the F and the B, the 4 and the 7. When you do the A pentatonic minor scale, you've got A, C, D, E, G, A. You're missing out the 2, which is the B again in its relative minor, and the 6, which is the F. So as well as the relative minor and major having the same notes, the relative pentatonic minor and pentatonic major have the same notes in them. So they're interchangeable as well. You could play a C major pentatonic scale over an A minor chord sequence and it would sound like an A minor pentatonic scale. So this might be a little bit confusing to start with, but you'll get this as you go along, and the idea of this is that you work it along with your guitar playing, which is why we're relating it all back to the guitar. So I hope you're getting this so far, and the pentatonic scales are used more commonly. I mean, the minor pentatonic scale is probably the most common scale used in rock music improvisation, and the major pentatonic scale is certainly the most common scale used in country music improvisation. Doesn't mean they're the only ones used, but they're the most common ones used. So I hope you found that useful, and we're going to move on to, in the next lesson, we're going to move on to the blues scale.